11 a.m. here in Louisiana. Cross over to Mississippi pretty soon, probably. It's a nice sunrise this morning. Very green, very humid here. It's about 72 degrees. Looks like we're going to have a pretty nice day today. I don't see any rain in the forecast headed on into Florida. So, and it's a little dark in the cab to be able to see me, so I'll keep face forward, maybe for a little bit, a few more minutes anyhow. So far, looks like we are projected to hit our final destination probably about, I said 11 p.m. That was giving a couple extra hours, so between 9 and 11 p.m. tonight. I updated our arrival time because, so normally the way I do it is when we initially pick up the load, I put in the time for that gives you a window that the order needs to be, or the load needs to be delivered by. I usually put in that last bit, so the load is due by Friday night at 11:59 p.m. So I said, okay, we will be there Friday night by 11:58 p.m. That way it's not showing late, and I don't have to do a late macro. Now that sometimes we'll get a load where it is going to be late, and so then I just had to figure, using my formula that I've talked about before, miles divided by 50 gives us our estimated time, and then of course you have to take into account time zones. So since we picked up in California, we had to add 3 hours to our time to account for Eastern time zone. But so when I started driving this morning, we had less than 1,000 miles left in our trip. So it allowed me to adjust our time so that we can hopefully get a trip out of Florida. So if I didn't do that, what would happen is the planners, what comes to them is when we are putting in our estimated time for the next load, and they fill those as they come up to, you're in a line. And so basically what I did this morning when I readjusted our our projected time of availability, our PTA, when I adjusted that moved us up in the line so that we're not sitting on Friday's schedule, we're sitting on Thursday's schedule. It does a couple things. Number one, because when we actually get to our final and we do it and we update our PTA, it would put us in. So then it would show at that time that we're available, but that doesn't allow the planners to plan us out. With it coming up to the weekend, a lot of times the facilities are not open on the weekend, and that's how we end up getting stuck in these areas that have no team freight. So by us adjusting our PTA, letting them know our actual closer time for us to be there, that'll give them the opportunity today to start looking and planning us out of Florida and getting us on a long load for the weekend, so we're not stuck somewhere waiting for a load till Monday. So that's super important with your load management, to make sure that you're updating your PTA. So one thing that I didn't learn going through my mentorship is that once you pick up and you figure your PTA, it was always figure it, put it in, and ride with it. Unless you're going to be late, you don't touch it, okay? Something I found out now working and being on our own is that it's not a one and done thing. You should update your PTA as you go. Sometimes you're going to gain time, sometimes you're going to lose time. So if I put in that it was we were going to get there by noon, and I leave it and we're not there by noon, number one, that's going to put us late. And so it would give us a service failure for arriving late. Or it would require me to put in a macro 22 to adjust that I would be running later than what I had discussed. So by the way that we do it now is we say, okay, we don't know what construction is going to look like. We want to stop for a shower. It takes us time to switch out because we have to do a post-trip, pre-trip. We can figure those things in, but you cannot figure in the unseen, such as construction, closures, accidents, things like that. So when we actually pick up the load, we put in the latest possibility that we can be there, okay? Because normally our loads are several days. So, and then as we get closer to our destination, we update so that it gives the planners, it pops on their screen when we're actually going to be in, so they can start looking at planning our loads out. And doing it this way has been very beneficial for us. Let me see if I can flip this yet. There we are. Morning. A little blurry because there's not quite enough light. But so anyhow, that's kind of what's how that all works. I know that a lot of stuff's probably like, what are you talking about? But I like to try to explain things to give people an idea of kind of what we deal with daily, what it means to be a trucker. We're still learning. So Alex is going on, well, let me see. I think I am going on, I'm going on 8 months. Yeah, I feel like I'm going on 8 months. And so then that means Alex is going on 1.5 years driving. And we're still learning every day. So little something going on the side. When something's going on the side, we got to pull over. So that, because we're so wide that, you know, we want to make sure that we're giving the shoulder enough room, especially if it's an accident or something like that. Like it was an accident. A truck on the side. That's not good. How that happens is truckers trying to push through when they're sleepy, drowsy. Anyways, so there you go, guys. There's a little update, a little education on how we figure our loads and our times. I know that was always one thing that I always asked Alex about, like, how do you know when you're going to get there, and how do you know when things happen? And that's how that works out. So. Another little something going on here on the side.
1.1 miles. You are approaching way station in 1.1 miles.
Not a very good place for the cops to hang out there. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna jump off here because there's way too much going on this morning. We're heading into a little bit more populated area with some rush hour traffic, and so I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. Went through the wait station got our bypass signal, so I don't have to pull into the wait station. That's what that beeping is that you're hearing, is my bypass signal. Went over the wait station. They have a scale in the road. As we pass over it, we're not close to our limit on this load. So usually when we're close to the limit is when they pull us in, because it's only an estimated scale. Since we're good, we get to pass through. If we're close to the limit, they pull us into way. Anyways, all right. So I'm out of here. Love y'all. Please, please, please wash those dirty hands. Mask up. Socially distance if you need to on those. There's a lot of changes going on. Get the vaccine if you can. We're at 50%. A lot of things are going to start opening up. It would be terrible to break it back down after work so hard to get it up here. So, man, there's more I want to talk about. I might talk for a little bit longer because things have kind of chilled out a little bit more. Just seemed like right there everybody was trying to merge, but so the latest thing I guess is they're doing investigation on where COVID came from. Biden has told our intelligence branches that they want to know, was it actually a leak from China, from that lab in China, or is it something natural? Dr. Fauci said he still believes that it was natural, but he's not going to rule out that it wasn't. Something in the news this morning that I heard was that the scientists that were working in November, they didn't say exactly what they're working on, but that there were scientists in China that were working on something and they had flu-like symptoms that you get from COVID that sought treatment in a hospital in November 2019. So they're trying to see, was it a leak that happened in the lab that infected those scientists who went to a hospital to be treated, which then it spread, and then from there it spread? That's kind of what they're looking at to see if that is how it happened. That still does not give the right to call it the China disease, because that's grouping a whole nation of people, and that's not the right thing to do. We already think that it originated in China, but that doesn't give you the right to call it a China disease. That doesn't give you the right to do hate crimes against Asian people. It's not. But anyhow, so that's what they're looking at. I don't know if they're wanting to try to seek monetary from them for that leak, or I don't know what it is. I don't know what they expect to gain by determining if it came from China. I'm not sure. I don't know what their plan is there. But I do know that we are looking better as far as the ability of getting over this. So I'm happy for that. Let's see what else. That's really it. I mean, that's the other thing, the latest thing I heard on the news today. So I'm super excited about that. And we're going to play race with this trucker here that just pulled on. Sometimes they will yield to you and let you back over. Sometimes they want to play games and knowing that Swift can only go 65 and like try to hold us in the left lane. So I don't know. Let's see what it does. yeah, I think that's it. Just the numbers coming up on 50% of adults in the U.S. are fully vaccinated. This next holiday weekend they're looking at fuel prices being the highest since 2014 to gear up for the holiday weekend. There's going to be more travel this holiday weekend. The worst of it is going to be tonight and tomorrow on the traveling wise, because as people are jumping out for this weekend, for Memorial Day weekend. TSA is saying that they are reaching the numbers that they saw prior to pandemic, with people checking through the airports. One of the hottest spots for this weekend is in Vegas. Is the have no fucking clue how to merge. So you're going to merge on the highway and you're going to slow down and slow me down to 45 miles an hour instead of speed up. I don't get these people. Then my truck's screaming because I'm too close. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to get off here because these MFers, I'm going to start losing my patience here, are getting ridiculous. The way they just jump out in front of a truck. Either speed up and merge or get behind. Don't jump in front of me going 45 when the speed limit is 65. It's ridiculous. Alright guys, love you, be safe, take care. Talk to you tomorrow.